Hey, welcome to my channel. Today and for a couple of days, I'm going to be ranking every Batman movies in the franchise. Oh, this is not going to be controversial at all. It's gonna unite every Batman fans around the world. Though, of course, it won't. Uh, but this is my ranking. This is my list of worst and favorite, best. If you might not agree with me, that is totally fine. Just let me know in the comment section. What is your favorite? What is your worst? I'm gonna in this list. I put all the Batman movies that had a theatrical release. I included Batman v Superman because it is very much also it is a Batman movie, just as it is a Superman movie. All right, let's start with number 12. Number 12, Batman and Robin. Even as a kid, that kid came. That sorry, I can't speak right now. That movie came out when I think, I was 9 when that movie came out, and even as a kid, I hated that movie. I hated everything about this movie. Of course, I watched it a couple of times because there's only so many times you can watch the others. I think there was only 4 movies at that time. So sometimes it's good to have a little change of scenery, let's say, switch things up. That being said, I always hated that movie. I hated, even as a kid, I hated the costumes. I hated the props, especially the credit card, the dialogues, the puns, um, everything. It was too campy. I didn't like the fact that Batman and Robin was just were just there on the crime scene like nothing was like nothing. Like they were just basically cops. I didn't like that at all, especially we were when we at this time we saw like the Batman Returns. We had the TV show. We had Mask of Phantasm, and Batman wasn't really like um, in the midst of the police force. Just say it like that. I didn't like Bane. Also, I just I dislike this movie. I don't like this movie. I hated it even as a kid. And that movie was basically like just a big commercial to sell toys. Never liked it. Never will. The only thing I will say is I now I watched it recently. Don't ask me why. I kind of liked George Clooney's interpretation of, sorry, I can't speak right now, of Bruce Wayne. That's the only thing that I liked. I will not say like that. I wasn't bothered by it. Does it make sense? Anyway. All right, number 11. Batman 1966. That movie came in between season 1 and 2 of the TV show back in the 60s. Again, I watched it when I was probably 4 or 5. There was only 1 or 2 Batman movie out. Again, you can't always watch the same thing. Batman is really one of my favorite characters ever. And I had to watch it just to, at least it made me appreciate the other 2 or 3 Batman at the time that was out even more. That being said, all criticism, oh boy, that I had about Batman and Robin when they were out and about around police officers, this movie I don't have a problem with because it was very much in the series. It was like that in the series. They respected, well, the series was still ongoing, but it's uh, it would have never made sense to have a movie and don't that doesn't respect the series, like whatever they were going for, and still having the series going on. You know what I'm saying? So I watched it a lot as a kid. I watched it more than Batman and Robin, but that's it. I thought it was funny at the time. But yeah, nothing else really to say. If you give me a choice between this and Batman and Robin, probably gonna choose this because at least as a kid, it didn't piss me off. That's all I'm going to say. Whereas Batman and Robin really pissed me off as a kid. I really didn't like it. This one, I enjoyed it as a kid. Of course, I was I think I was 4 or 5. But anyway, that's my number 11. All right, number 10, Batman Forever. Um, that's a weird one. That's a weird one. It lands like, if you're talking about atmosphere, it lands in between and Batman Returns. No, sorry, it lands between Batman Returns, and on the other side of the spectrum, Batman and Robin. It's right in the middle. If we're only talking about atmospheres. I like this movie. I kind of like this movie. I didn't like the. I didn't really like the introduction of Robin. I didn't like the interpretation of Two Face. Riddler didn't have much problem with it because it's Jim Carrey, so I was fine with it. But Two Face was kind of weird for me. And one thing also I didn't like, and I don't know if you're going to agree with me. If I was Bruce Wayne's friend, and then I saw Batman on a rooftop, and I would speak to Batman, I would be like, "You are Bruce Wayne, right?" Because I feel like there's no change in demeanor between those two. They are basically the same. Val Kilmer plays it as the same character. I don't feel like there's a nuance, nothing. So you might not agree with me, but that's just my take on it, if I'm going to be honest. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm just gonna do three a pop. I did 12, 11, and 10. Next video, I'm gonna do 9, 8, 7, and then you know where I'm going. So do you agree with me? 12, 11, 10. Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section. All right. See you guys soon for part 2.